class. Okay, here we have defined all the essential fields which is to represent the influencer. Now, but our contest, okay, not only the data is sufficient, we are going to analyze the data. That means which influencer have the highest number of followers, who gets the highest monthly views, who has the highest engagement, who has the highest average views per post, and finally who should become the winner. So our class should also contain some behavior. Okay, adding the behavior inside the class, we need to add the method. Let's add the method in our class. The method, we are going to add a simple method. I just commented simple method to display all field. So I'm going to display all these fields in a method. Okay, so how to write a method? There should be a return type and followed by the name of the method, display details. Here also I have followed some rules. You can see there are two words in this method name. The first word's first letter should be in lowercase, the second word's first letter. Hereafter it follow the camel case pattern. Any number of words it may have, only the first word first letter must be follow the lowercase pattern. Rest of the words, the first letter should be an uppercase pattern. It's called a camel case pattern. So you have to follow the camel case pattern. Okay, once the method signature is wrote, you have to start a block for that method signature. Here you can do anything. Since it is going to display the details, we are going to send this information to the console through the system class. System dot out is an static field, and println is the method we are going to call from the print stream class. Okay, where we are going to display the value name. That's it. So I have printed the name inside the display function. Similarly, I could able to print the username, followers, and any more. Okay, so I'm going to create a user. I'm going to print the username. Username where it is small. Okay, similarly I'm going to print the followers. Similarly I'm going to print a post. Similarly I'm going to print reels. Okay, and monthly views. So every data members or fields we have defined inside the class as part of influencer. We displayed everything using the function which is called display details. Here this display details is a method, or we can call this as a function, which is mainly used to represent an operation or a behavior of the influencer object. In our example, the method display the influencer's details. Now our class contain both data and behavior. Okay, let's add the real calculation as we said. Okay, suppose we want to calculate average monthly views per post. Average monthly view per post. What we need to do? We need to add one more function in order to perform the calculations. So are you able to understood now? Inside the class we can add the data to provide the informations, and in order to perform the calculation, everything we have to enclose inside the function. Now our task is to calculate the average views per post. It is a task. Okay, it is an operation that we are going to perform. So we need to create a function. So double function name is calculate average views. Calculate average views per post. Similarly, you can create it for reel and everything, the entire things also. Okay, calculate average views per post. We have created it. Inside that, what we need to do, so we have to return, okay, monthly views that already we have, monthly views divided by number of posts. Okay, so total number of posts, every month they have posted, okay, divided by, so in the denominator it's a monthly view, total number of posts they have posted during, okay, right, during that particular month. Okay, our class is not simply storing information, it can also perform the calculation using that information. This is an important idea. A good class can bring related data and behavior together, right? So now you can see our complete class here, right? You can see our complete class. The class is influencer, and it contains this much data in order to represent the characteristics of the class influencer or object influencer, and it has two member functions inside it. Okay, the first member function is a simple method which is used to display all the fields inside the class, and the second member function is perform the calculation in terms of calculating average views per post. Okay, the entire result is returned to back to the object. Okay, now we have created a reusable structure for an Instagram influencer. The class tells us what information an influencer has, and it also tells us what operation we can perform. Now let's learn another important Java term called class members. The fields and methods declared inside the class are called members of the class. Okay, everything inside the class block. You can see here I got selected this. All these three things are called as members of the class. In our influencer class, there are member field. These are the member field as I said earlier, and these are the member functions as I said earlier. Okay, so remember this simple idea. Fields represent the data or set, and method represent the behavior or operation. These are the terms I just repeat. The data or fields represent the data or state of the object, that is influencer, and these functions are represent the behavior or operations of the object. Okay, now you may have an important question in your mind. Okay, we have just created influencer class, but we have actually created an influencer, have we actually created an influencer object? No, we have only created the definition. We have told Java, whenever we create an influencer, this is the information that influencer should contain. Okay, and these are the operations that we can perform, but our contest has many participants. So how do we represent influencer 1? How do we represent the influencer 2? How do we represent the influencer 95? How do we represent the influencer 100? This is where our objects comes into the picture. Okay, think about the influencer class as a common template. From this one class we can create many individual objects. Let's see the example, but I'm not going to follow any syntax now here. See this as example to create an object. Look at it. Influencer I1, who is the first influencer. Similarly, influencer I2, who is the second influencer. Influencer I100, who is the 100th influencer. Like, we can create n number of influencer object. For each object we are going to invoke this particular class to store separate informations related to that influencer. Okay, one object can contain details of one influencer and another object can contain the details of another influencer. This is one of the major advantages of the class. You can see here, okay, this is the class block, right? This is the class block. I'm going to create influencers. Okay, here I'm going to create an influencer I1. Here I'm going to create influencer I2, and here I'm going to create the influencer I3. Okay, this person is called I1, the second one is called as I2, and third one is called as I3. These three influencers going to call this class. Okay, going to call this class. It's a common template to all these three classes, right? Is going to call this and create a new memory and store all these values related to this. Similarly, it is also going to communicate with this class and create a new version of information. All these information are stored as a second object called I2 object. Again, the third influence is going to call this class. So use these informations and create a new set of informations for the influencer 3 and store this as a third object as called I3. The way you can create 100 different objects like this. Each object will have only the information about that particular influencer, but we use the common terms as a class to store all the data for each one of the 100 influences. We are not repeating variable declarations for 100 influences. We created the variable declaration only once inside the class. The same class as a template can be used to create n number of objects. So every object can create their own version of information, put it over there in the respective memory. Okay. So now comes to the most important question. What happens when we write Java? I will write it something here. Java influencer I1. Okay. Java compiler. When I'm write influencer I1 equal to new influencer of. Okay, so this is where the object syntax in Java. We are going to create an object for influencer 1. Okay, here we need to understand a lot of things. What is this I1? What is this reference type? What is this new keyword will do? What is this influencer constructor called? Okay, so and what happens when it is getting created in memory? These questions take us to the next important concept, objects in the Java memory. Okay, that's what our next video we are going to learn. What is object, what happen when an object is actually created, and what happened when we write this particular line with respect to the above class. Okay, so and we will answer all these questions in the next video. Classes versus object. Okay, this is RKodeAcademy. Learn, code and grow. See you in the next video. Thank you.